Hello, good evening. This is UTV Live.
Tonight at 6, the family of an RUC officer killed in the Chinook helicopter disaster has spoken out for the first time in an appeal for answers.
What could possibly be in those documents that can't be useful to help prevent this again, that can't be helpful for all of these families to be able to lay the memory of their loved ones to rest?
Also ahead, his identity has always been protected, but now MPs urge the government to name the army agent known as Steak Knife.
Will Boucher Road playing fields return to their sporting roots? Tonight, Belfast City Council will decide the future of live events at the outdoor venue.
Plus, we'll have the rest of the day's news, weather and sport, including a County Fermanagh caravan park owner who has spent hundreds of thousands of pounds preparing for the Enniskillen bypass, which he fears will never happen.
The wife and daughter of an RUC officer killed in the Chinook helicopter crash have spoken out for the first time in a plea for answers. Detective Chief Inspector Dennis Bunting was on board an RAF helicopter with other intelligence and military personnel when it crashed on a flight to Scotland in 1994.
His family has appeared in a special video due to be sent to every cabinet minister as part of a campaign for a judge-led public inquiry. His relatives have been speaking exclusively to our correspondent, Gareth Wilkinson.
I knew he didn't want to get on that flight. I knew he didn't want to get on it. To just see all that burned grass and, you know, the whole of the hillside was just a complete mess, and I still can't believe it.
For 31 years, Lynn Bunting has been living with the loss of her husband. She was plunged into grief when a Chinook helicopter came down over Scotland's Mull of Kintyre. RUC officer Dennis Bunting was one of 29 on board who stood no chance of survival.
Shannon, you just didn't really get the chance to know your father properly. You were only 4 when he...
Yeah, it's been like a huge gap for sure. You know, although we've kept his memory alive, I'm devastated that I didn't get to know him, that I didn't know him as an adult, that I don't have him here.
It's a grief compounded by a lack of answers. 2 Special Forces pilots, first blamed for the disaster, later had their names cleared. Now it's emerged there were serious safety concerns surrounding the Chinook helicopter used, but files relating to the crash have been sealed for 100 years.
What could possibly be in those documents that can't be useful to help prevent this again, that can't be helpful for all of these families to be able to lay the memory of their loved ones to rest?
Families demanding a judge-led public inquiry have been to Downing Street and recently met with ministers from the Ministry of Defence. Now Lynn and another daughter, Erin, appear in a specially produced Valentine's video.
I was attracted to his larger-than-life personality.
But it's a story of heartbreak, which will be sent to every cabinet minister.
You've both chosen to speak out publicly for the first time. Is this a plea for answers?
Yes. Absolutely. We want, you know, that's the memory of my dad, Dennis, and of all of his colleagues, that they are people who would want their families to be given these answers. I think it's desperately sad that we're being forced, you know, for 30 years to say, why do we not know what has happened?
In a statement, the MOD says its focus is on responding to claims made by the Chinook Justice Campaign, but say they understand that the lack of certainty about the cause of the crash has added to the distress of families. Dennis Bunting was one of 10 police officers from Northern Ireland killed. It was the RUC's single biggest loss of life.
For him to die in those situations when I thought he was going to be lucky enough to get to peace, and he didn't make it, and it wasn't the troubles that killed him.
Heartbreaking.
Lynn Bunting ending that report by our correspondent Gareth Wilkinson.